What if I told you that the single most powerful health intervention available to every human being on this planet is free? Happens every single morning, and 90% of people completely miss it. No, not a supplement, not a biohack, not a £300 red light therapy device. I'm talking about something that has been calibrating the human body for 3.8 billion years of evolution, and we've spent the last century systematically depriving ourselves of it. I'm sure you've guessed by now, but it's morning sunlight. I'm not just talking about going outside, I'm talking about the specific, measurable, deeply biological cascade of events that happens when your eyes and skin are exposed to the light spectrum that exists in the first 1 to 2 hours after sunrise, before UVB even enters the picture. Infrared, visible light, UVA, 3 bands, 1 window of time, a completely different human being on the other side. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what is happening in your mitochondria, your eyes, your hormones, and your circadian clock every single morning, and why skipping it is not laziness, it is biological self-sabotage. Before we go into the problem, we need to understand how broken our light environment is, otherwise you won't feel the urgency. So 93%, that's what the EPA estimates Americans spend inside or in vehicles. And there are patterns emerging of similar patterns in the UK and in Europe. Now, in a well-lit office, you have a lux of 200 to 500. Outdoors on a cloudy morning, 1,000 to 10,000 lux. With bright sun, you have 100,000 lux. So your photoreceptors are starving and you don't even know it. Every single biological clock in your body was calibrated by the rhythmic cycle of sunlight. We broke the cycle roughly 100 years ago. Pretty powerful. So here's what's happening. You wake up, you look at your phone, blue light dominated, near field, artificial. You go downstairs, fluorescent lighting or LEDs. You drive to work, windows up, glass filtering out most of what your body actually needs. You sit under office lighting all day. By the time you get outside, it's noon or later, and you're getting a completely different light spectrum than the one your body is designed to use as its primary morning signal. So in this video, we are going to talk about what's present before UVB hits the atmosphere, which is the first 30 minutes to 90 minutes after sunrise, depending on your latitude and season. This is predominantly infrared radiation, visible red and orange, and UVA, a very different biological toolkit than midday, and one that is vastly underappreciated. So infrared light does supercharge your mitochondria. Your mitochondria are the organelles inside every cell in your body that produce ATP, your cellular energy currency. They have a direct light activated switch, and that switch is triggered by infrared radiation, which is at its highest concentration at sunrise. So when you step outside at sunrise, the dominant wavelength hitting your body is infrared. It is penetrating your skin, not just the skin surface, but going centimeters deep into muscle and organ tissue. Every mitochondrion it touches is getting a direct signal, charge, wake up, and produce energy. And when you don't, when you roll out of bed and go straight to your phone, your laptop, your LED lit kitchen, your mitochondria starts the day in the dark. No activation signal, no nitric oxide release. You are running your biology on fumes. And then you wonder why you need 4 coffees before noon. Number 2, it sets your master clock and every clock downstream. Circadian biology of morning light exposure is among the most studied phenomena in all of neuroscience. So when you get bright light into your eyes in the morning, ideally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, ideally outdoors without glasses or contacts, between your eyes and the sky, you trigger a cortisol pulse. This is the cortisol awakening response, and it's the single most important hormonal event of your day. This cortisol pulse does something that almost nobody talks about. It sets a molecular timer for melatonin release 12 to 16 hours later. Your melatonin onset tonight is determined by when you get light this morning. This is why shift workers, people who wake up immediately and immediately pull blackout blinds, anyone who spends their morning under artificial light have destroyed sleep quality. The clock has never got set. So get outside within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. Aim for at least 10 minutes on a clear day, and then at least 20 minutes on a cloudy day. 30 minutes on a heavily overcast day. And as I mentioned before, no sunglasses. Don't stare at the sun. And that is that. Because your sleep, your mood, your hormones, your metabolism, they all depend on this act. Now, it does flood your brain with natural dopamine. It's something that doesn't get talked about that often, but it's one of the most powerful effects of morning sunlight, that it drives the dopamine system. Dopamine it's not just about reward, it's about motivation, pursuit, drive, the ability to initiate action. It is the molecule that gets you out of bed and into the world, and it has a direct input from morning light exposure. This is why people who get consistent morning sun report qualitative improvements in motivation, in their ability to start difficult tasks, and general mood elevation. Functional medicine physicians starting to prescribe morning sun as a first-line intervention for depression, not as an add-on, not as a lifestyle advice at the bottom of a prescription pad, as the primary mechanistically justified, evidence-backed intervention. So you have UVA releasing nitric oxide is the next big powerful benefit, and your cardiovascular supercharger. So UVA radiation present at measurable levels from very early morning triggers the release of nitric oxide from nitrate stores in the skin. It's not a trivial effect. It's a direct, systematic and cardiovascular intervention happening on your skin every time you're in early morning sunlight. We've been so fixated on vitamin D as the sun health story that we missed the nitric oxide pathway entirely. Nitric oxide is the molecule of life. It governs immune response, neuronal communication, mitochondrial regulation, and vascular health simultaneously. There's a reason that athletes who train outdoors in the morning consistently outperform those who do it inside. As you can see here, some athletes here, Erling Haaland, Marcus Llorente, Cristiano Ronaldo, all huge advocates of powering and optimizing their circadian biology. Another amazing benefit, it literally protects your eyes. We are in the middle of a global myopia epidemic that is moving at a pace that's no precedent in human history. In East Asia, about 80 to 90% of young adults are now myopic. In Western countries, rates have doubled in 50 years. And this is happening at an accelerating rate. And a lot of it is suggesting from the absence of outdoor light and from increased tech use. So this is a public health crisis that needs sorting out as soon as possible. Now, that is pretty much everything wrapped up. So the full protocol is getting outside within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, before coffee, before looking at screens. Sunrise is the gold standard. As we said, 10 minutes on a clear day, 20 to 30 minutes on an overcast day. And indoor lighting has way less lux than outdoor lighting, so get yourself outside. And as I said before, no sunglasses, make sure your eyes are open, no glass between you and the sky. And also stack it, so walk, move, make it a habit, go outside and exercise, do something with it. So, if this changed something in you, give it a share. Someone you know does need to hear this. I am also running an 8-week health optimization program for those looking to take their health to the next level. We dive deep into key health topics, including circadian rhythm and sunlight, all the way down to liver and detoxification. In order to apply for the program, there will be a link in the description, so go ahead and do that.